this country, and Muslim students are far and few between, whether it's a majority white suburb or whether it's a rural area. Bullying is a real issue, right? People are being picked on for, how they dress, for the food they bring in for lunch, for what their names are. Young people are forced to change their names from like Ali to Al, or, Muhammad to Mike, in those kinds of places. So bullying of young people really gets to me. Kids are going to be kids, are going to be idiots, but that just shows like a real lack of responsibility from the authority of schools who really have to step in.
I agree. And I guess one thing that I guess differs with me in my Islamic, experience growing up is the fact that we are African Muslims. We experienced Islamophobia, I guess, on milder levels when it comes to just being attacked. For me, what got me a lot had to do with microaggressions. I'm sorry, microexpressions when people would find out that I was Muslim, or, my family was Muslim. It'd be very much like, oh yeah, and I grew up Muslim. Their face would be like, they would react as if I told them like I just came out of jail or something. And yeah, it was just so disappointing to me. And it was in those moments that I would realize that I would just kind of start looking down on these people, quite
Yeah.
frankly, and just kind of realizing that as much education or worldliness as someone has, they're not exempt of having these feelings of, bigotry. And I always just kind of chalked it up. I used to chalk it up to ignorance, but really it's just, I don't even know. It's not a lack of education. It's a lack of something. I found myself reading your book and having emotional reactions. And I'm an emotional viewer, I guess, when I watch movies. Usually with books, it's a little bit more subtle, but I was very emotional. Like I was angry. I was angry reading your book, and I appreciated a lot that it was layered with your experiences and a lot of like narratives and your thoughts that kind of came together with the facts. I didn't expect that. So tell us about, I guess, your experience writing this book.
Yeah, I think one thing for me when I decided to write this book is that in some ways it was a response to like all the books I read as a youngster about Islam and of Muslims that were written largely by white men, right? And there's this sort of positionality that when non-Muslims write a book, they're sort of distanced from the subject matter, right? So it becomes almost emotionless,
Mm.
right? And it's sort of like the